survey your best customers and uncover what they value, okay? Now, we did this, Producers Club members, Accelerators members, you should be somewhat aware of this. Last February, this last February, at our Producers Club meeting, I rolled out a national IT services survey through our producers, and we did invite some Accelerators members to do this as well. And basically, it was hosted on MSP Success Magazine, and we asked our members to email their customers and take the survey. And the survey was about, you know, what do you look for, what do you value most in IT, when you're outsourcing your IT, right? So we just did this. I got some of the results back, all right? So we had the take rate on this was not as much as I'd liked. I wish more of you had participated. If there's something we should have done differently, that would have been great, because I would have loved to get like 5,000 businesses taking the survey. But we got 472 of your customers to take the survey. So does everyone understand what I'm saying? Like I had you send out an email to your customers and go to MSP Success and take the survey, right? And so you can go look at the slide. You can see they were from all different industry sectors, from accounting and professional services, healthcare, legal. So the biggest part of the pie there was other, right? So, you know, these were all different industries that were represented. The majority of the people who took the survey were in that 11 to 50 range, and then the others were like under 10 was the next biggest pie, and 51 to 100. So this was the survey. Okay, now this is where I want your participation, okay? I hope some of you in the back can see this slide. I apologize if it's a little hard to see. But the first question we asked these business owners who were outsourcing their IT to a managed service provider, we said, when choosing an IT company, which of the following is the most important to you and why? Can you guys see it in the back? Sort of, kind of. Well, the very, very back row. It's funny, I had you guys up front are like, yeah, I can see it just fine. I was right here. I'm talking about like in the nosebleed section back there. Can you guys kind of see that? Okay. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Turn to somebody next to you and guess what you think the top 3 answers were. Now here's what they could have selected. What's most important to them is that you're a local business. Number 2, response times to IT problems. Number 3, after-hours support. Number 4, cybersecurity. 5, expertise in my industry and my business. Next, expertise with regulatory compliance. Next, what they charge, knowledge of the software, their ability to provide an accurate IT budget, number of years in business, contract terms. So I want you guys to try and figure out. Go ahead, take a minute, talk to your partner. All right, does everyone have an idea? So the way I would look at this question would be, what do you think that they value? Response time. Expertise. What's that in the back? Software knowledge. Okay. Great. Now here's my question then. If I went to your website and I looked at whatever marketing materials you're sending out, are you promoting that as the number one thing? Yes. And if you are, good. If you're not, this may be a time where you go, maybe I need to rethink this. Okay, so here's how the voting went. Obviously, response times 90%, 90.2% said the single most important thing to them is how quick you get back to them when they have an IT problem. Now, That was more important than cybersecurity solutions. That was more important than number of years in business. So that tells you two things. One, you should be promoting that. Two, that should be what you're working on in your service department more than anything. How do we make it easier, faster to get support from us? Because that's what everybody, the marketplace is telling you that's what they want. Okay? Next was knowledge of the software applications you use to run your business. This is why vertical marketing is so powerful. When you, again, I'm not saying you have to choose a business I'm not saying you have to be successful, but this is why it's so powerful, because when you can go in and say, I understand not only how you run your business, but the applications you use and the regulatory compliance you have to comply with, and how you collect money, and how you service your customers, and what the KPIs are that run your business. When you know those KPIs, when you know those trends in that software, you instantly get a competitive advantage. All right, so that was number two. And number three was being local. Promoting the fact that you're local made a big, big difference, all right? Now, the other one that was very close, so I'm adding it because it was 37% was cybersecurity capabilities and certifications, but compared to the response times, nearly 3 times the number of people care more about responding to their problems than being secure. Now, this is why I say what you value is, I heard audibly, I heard some people go, huh, when I said that. I get it. But the marketplace, this is what they want. They are telling you this. Now, that's not to say you don't give them cybersecurity protection. That's not to say that. What you have to do is you have to promote responsiveness. And then when they get in there, cybersecurity. You give them what they need. You sell them what they want, you give them what they need. You sell them what they want, you give them what they need. Does that make sense? All right. Now, what was least important? Contract terms. And this was kind of interesting to me, because everyone says you can't sell 1 year, 2 year, 3 year contracts. Apparently, the market does not even give a rat's butt about that. So that's all your head trash. Number two, number of years in business, people didn't care about that, and expertise with regulatory compliance. So your HIPAA certification, CMMC, FINRA, etc. So that was different than cybersecurity capabilities, but only 8%, 8.7%, okay? Now, here was the next question we asked. What do you find most frustrating about doing business with IT companies in general? Now, some of the same things, but we just worded it a little differently. So if you guys can see that, slow response times, how you're required to get help, whether it's a ticketing system, no instant support, use of geek speak, high cost of IT, lack of professionalism, problems that happen repeatedly, no proactive planning, or having constant problems. All right, get with your partner and just kind of think about, what do you think people said was most frustrating to them? All right. What do you think people said was most frustrating? What do you think was next? Problems that repeat. Okay. What do you think was next? The geek speak. So I hear some of you say, right? Okay, here's what the market said. Slow response times, obviously, right? Slower, you just put it, thank you. Slow response times, okay, of course, right? Problems that happen repeatedly without resolution, and the high cost of IT support. So now, here's what I would tell you. This, you have to look at this a little bit different, because the people who emailed this survey, they emailed it to their managed services customers. So this wasn't like the generic everybody, and I'm sure they're emailing their customers who like them and are in good support contracts. So the number one answer, one of the number one answers was the other category, and the number one answer in the other category was, I don't have any frustrations because I have a great IT company. So they kind of misunderstood, you know, so the question was what it was, right? So that was really important to notice, all right? So the ones that had the least impact were, how are you required to get help? So the ticketing system, again, that could be because they're happy with their current IT company. No proactive planning, budgeting, or meetings, got very low response, and the use of Geek Speak, again, got a very low response. But that could be, again, because they are, we're serving your best customers. Do I see them?
Yeah, Charles.
Hey, Charles.
Do you feel like these answers change? Well, the mic came on.
Sorry, they just turned it on, yeah.
Do you feel like these answers change dramatically if you were to just drop everybody out that's less than 40 users or 50 users?
I mean, it could be. In a perfect.
I mean, if you looked at the data, do you have a bunch that are above 50?
We could segment this down and look at it that way, but the problem is I only got like 500 people to take the survey. So we're surveying now, like, you know, whatever that percentage is, 20 people or whatever it would be that are above that. So yes, this might change by industry. This might change by the size of the company. This could change if we sent this email out to people who we knew were outsourcing IT support, but it wasn't tied to one of you, like it was just a generic survey, and we were thinking about doing something like that. The reason it's good about with having you guys email your customers, I know they're paying for managed services. Whereas if we go get data and we run an ad and stuff, we don't know who it could be, who knows who's responding, right? So yes, I'm sure that this skews. I just did this as an exercise to say you should be asking. This is kind of stuff you should inherently know. Like, here's what pisses these guys off. Here's what frustrates them. Here's what their experience has been. Because when you sit down with a prospect and you can say, look, I get it. You're sick and tired of spending a lot of money, because they mentioned money. You're sick and tired of spending a ton of money on IT support and services, and every time you call, you get voicemail, and you put in a ticket, and you don't hear back from anybody, or you get an email, and it's inconvenient, and then maybe you get on a call with a guy, and he takes like forever to respond, and then he says he's got it fixed, and then it happens again, and you got to go through this whole process again. I understand that is so frustrating and so aggravating when you're spending as much money as you are on IT support.
It's like if my customers that are 40, 50 users, 100 users, price is way down there, and like strategy meetings would be way more important.
Okay, well, yes, then it could skew, but what my point with this is you need to survey your customers, and I'm going to go through something called a total value audit, and that'll be how you might want to do that, but that's a great question. Great point. Thank you for bringing it up. All right, so kind of leading right into that, he's setting me up for this, is there is a document that is up in the resources that you will be able to download and look at. And this is something we did years ago, and I'm kicking myself because we did it, and then we didn't continue to do it, right? And we're gonna bring it back. So this is a document we ran the Producers Club meetings, and it looks like a lot, but it's like you're circling like value and stuff like that. But go to your best customers and conduct what's called a total value audit. And what it'll do is two things. Number one, it will remind them of all the things that you do for them, because they forget or they don't know, right? Number two, it'll show you what they value most. So, for example, if we were sending this out to our Producers Club members, I would say please rate the value of each of these things that we do for you on a 1 to 10 scale. You can do 1 to 5 if you, I don't care, right? We just happen to, on a 1 to 10 scale, 1 being, if it went away, you wouldn't even notice it's gone. So if we stopped doing this thing for you, you wouldn't even notice that it was there. Number 10 being, if you took this away, I'd immediately cancel. So you're getting your clients to say, here's all the things we do for you, and give us a rating on a 1 to 10. So for example, for Producers Club, we have it on categories, under meetings. quarterly in-person Producers Club meetings. So I can do this poll real quick. My Producers Club members, if we took that away, would you notice? Yes. All right, yeah. Would you cancel? Yeah, so we know that. So that's probably at least a 9, maybe a 10, right? How about this? Live streaming of our Producers Club meetings. On a scale of how many of you feel like if it went away, you wouldn't even notice? Yeah, yeah. So, you know, and then how many of you, like, if we stopped doing the live stream, you would really seriously reconsider if you should even be part of this program? Now, let me give you an example of what I mean. Live streaming is not cheap. There's a cost to it. There's a complexity to it. We've got to make sure that there's internet, bandwidth, and hotels are notorious for charging you. Like, they just rip you a new one on internet, like they do. And it's crappy internet too, it's not even good quality. It's like sporadic and slow and goes down all the time, right? So it's a major pain in the butt. It's very expensive. We have to run a simultaneous show. You got Allison over here doing her live shots. We got, we used to have the Jeff and Mike show, and like we have to do all these things. There's a cost, there's a complexity to all that. So if I'm like, if you and you're going, is this something that really adds value to our customers or not? You ask them, and then you can make a better decision. Yeah, we might have 2% that get a little grumpy, but we could eliminate that cost and complexity. Now, we're not going to. I'm not saying I'm going to, but I'm just saying this is a way where you're going to have this document. You can download it. You can look at it. And we have things like celebrity speakers. How important is that? Access to content from our experts in residence like Greg Crabtree or Paul Sissel or Satima Fowler or Ray Green or Reed Warren. How important, or Dave Rendell. Robin's deep dive sessions. Some of you might not even know I do them. Right? Golden Comb presentations. How about that? How about Friday night parties and networking sessions, or the Women in Tech meeting that we have, or the sponsor hall? Like, how important is the sponsor hall? And we're not getting rid of that because that pays a lot of money. All right, I'm just saying. So I don't care what you put on there. It's happening. I mean, come on. I'm a capitalist after all. Hello, has that ever been a mystery? All right, so MAP training sessions. So anyway, we go through these, and then I have additional. So here's what I'm going to give you as a great template. And Charles, this would be kind of what you would want to do, right? You might say, here's all the things we do for you, and you can use this as a conversation piece, maybe in one of your QBRs. You could do it as a survey if you prefer, like send it in advance of a QBR, ask them to take the survey, click, it's really simple, maybe do 1 to 5. If it was a digital survey, I might do it the 1 to 5 and have them pick, and they just go through really, really quick. And then when you meet with them, say, hey, I'm just curious, you said that this was not important to you. Why is it not important to you? Or you said this was super important to you. Tell me more about why it's important to you, and tell me, is there anything we need to enhance or get better? And you'll see also on there's a place where they can say, hey, there's some things that I wish you would do and you're not doing, or some things that I gave it a low rating, but I gave it a low rating because it's not really valuable the way it is structured. So this total value audit, like I said, it does 2 things. It reminds your customers of all the things that you do for them, and it gives you that direct feedback on what they value most. And we all need it. I need it because what I would perceive as valuable, you might not, your audience might not perceive it as valuable. So I think this is going to be a really super cool tool, and I'm giving it to you guys. I would love to hear your feedback. If you have questions about how to use it, I'd welcome any kind of questions once you get back. You guys all know my email address is robin@themarketingteam. It is not filtered. It comes directly to me, and I love to get feedback, ideas, strategies, anything that if you're using this and you need help with it, or you use it and you get a great result, I always want to learn, because you guys will implement it and you'll figure out how to do it even better, faster, cheaper, better ways of using it. So I love this total value audit. We're going to roll it out again, but I wanted to share this with all of you when you're talking and surveying to your customers to find out what they value most.